So what happens when a university's tech obsession starts to outrun its own people? That's what we're digging into today, the very real human cost of being left behind at login.
You've seen it, right? Universities are in this, well, it's basically a technology arms race. They're rolling out everything. AI tutors, fancy data dashboards, super complex learning systems. But in this big push for innovation, you've got to ask a pretty important question. Who's getting left behind in the dust? And that exact question is what fascinates instructional design expert Dr.RRPh.D. does. With his huge background in distance learning, he's got a really unique view on this. And to get to the bottom of it, his research went way beyond just crunching numbers. It actually dug into the words people were using through something called content analysis of empirical data. Basically, by looking at interviews, published articles, and even official university docs, his work starts to paint a really clear picture of who's truly being left behind.
All right, so let's start with the view from inside the university itself. Part 1, we're looking at the faculty and staff, the folks on the front lines. And for them, all this constant change is creating a very specific kind of pressure.
And yeah, it actually has a name, technostress. You know that feeling when you're just completely overwhelmed or insecure or just constantly unsure about the tools you're forced to use every single day? It's not just about learning a new program. It's a real, deep psychological strain.
And look, this isn't just a few people grumbling. The data from staff interviews is, well, it's pretty stark. Just look at this sentiment analysis here. The feedback, overwhelmingly negative. People felt completely overloaded and, frankly, unsupported. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Let's contrast that with this next slide. When you look at the official university messages, the rollout emails, the big announcements, the tone is almost always positive. It's all innovation and efficiency, and that creates this huge disconnect with how people are actually feeling on the ground.
So why the huge gap? Well, the research points to 4 main reasons. First, massive gaps in training and support. Then there's something more subtle. Long-time staff feeling a sense of ageism, or like they're losing status. Third, the new tech just doesn't fit how they've always worked. And maybe most importantly, there's low psychological safety. People are just plain scared to ask for help.
All right, let's switch gears and move to the other side of the classroom, because it's not just the staff who are struggling here. Students are facing a whole different set of digital hurdles.
And when you start to pull together all the data on student challenges, some really clear patterns pop up. We're talking about basic stuff, like access to a good laptop or reliable internet. Big struggles with self-regulated learning, managing your own time and staying motivated. And of course, the mental health hit from feeling so isolated. And that's all on top of accessibility issues for students with disabilities and just plain bad course design.
But here's the thing, and what this table shows so well, these aren't some impossible problems. They have real, concrete solutions. That homework gap, universities can offer loaner laptops and Wi-Fi hotspots. The stress from those online proctoring systems, they can use different kinds of assessments instead. See? The solutions are out there. They just have to be put into practice.
Okay, so we've got 2 groups, staff and students, and both are facing some serious digital roadblocks. This last part is all about connecting those dots to find a smarter, more human way forward. And here it is, the crucial point of all this. These are not 2 separate problems. Faculty stress and student struggles, they are 2 sides of the very same coin. Think about it. A professor who is totally overwhelmed by a new grading system is just not going to have the bandwidth to support a student who's falling behind. It is all connected.
This quote from the research really just reframes the entire issue perfectly. It says leadership needs to treat tech adoption as a time and culture problem, not just a skills problem. It's not about teaching people where to click. It's about changing the whole culture, respecting people's time, and building an environment where it's okay to not know something right away.
So how do you fix a culture problem? You can't just wish it away. You need concrete actions. The research lays out 6 really smart recommendations. Give staff protected time to actually practice with new tools. Pair them up with peer mentors who get it. Create no-shame help channels where any question is a good one. Make the training actually count for something, like promotions. Audit the official messaging to make sure it sounds empathetic, not robotic. And finally, focus on the outcomes, not just on whether everyone checked a box.
Look, if you take away one single thing from all this, let it be this. Successful tech adoption isn't about having the fanciest, shiniest tools. It's about making a real, sustained investment in the people, the human beings, who have to use those tools every single day.
Which leaves us with one last question to chew on. In this constant, relentless rush for the next big thing, for innovation at any cost, are we accidentally building universities that are forgetting the very people they're supposed to serve?